Hello and welcome back to my nail corner. I am getting into a mani with you guys here today with these cute colors from West Coast Dips. I will make sure the colors are listed in the description box below. This mani was meant to come to you earlier in the season, but it's too cute to pass up sharing no matter when. And that color on the left is called Endless Summer, I believe. So like, really, is it a problem that it's already fall? I don't think so. The theme of this mani is mermaid nails, and I just think you can go mermaid any time of the year. So save this for inspo next year if you want, no problem. But I just had to share it with you guys because it's too cute to keep to myself. So I have my first color out, and I have my Revel Sensitive Dip Base. And this might be the last video. I can't say for sure because I can't remember if I recorded more with that dip base, but it might be the last time you see that. I have been using the Azure Beauty dip liquids from Amazon and the sensitive dip liquids. I wanted to try them out, give them a good run for their money before I shared my thoughts with you guys. And I don't think I'm going back to my Revel dip base, and I'm going to tell you why and the comparison in my opinion between the two. So if you've used the Revel sensitive dip base, obviously I've been using it for a while now, really enjoyed it. The only thing that I had a complaint about was that it was rather slow drying, and I wouldn't call it a thin liquid, like a dip liquid. It was kind of more like a medium consistency. So it was fine. I learned to work with it because to me it was worth it not to have the dip flu reaction when using the liquids. So that being said, it did have a little bit of a slower dry time. So I would not go right in and dust off this nail without being pretty cautious. I would tend to go through all of my nails if I could, or at least give plenty of time for that to set, and then be really careful when I went to brush off, because I had definitely ruined a nail or two by going in to dust off my excess dip powder too quickly. And so that was an adjustment for me. I tend to move quicker if I can, and this really kind of made me slow down, which is fine. Maybe that was good for my application, to just slow things down and try to be really precise, but also just take my time. So when I tried the Azure Beauty dip liquids, it was because number one, they came out with a sensitive dip liquid, and so I wanted to give those a try. Number two, I like to be able to order on Amazon if possible, because if I wasn't really ahead of myself, as soon as I'd open a dip base from Revel, I would want to make sure I either had another one on hand or had ordered another one and had it coming to me, because it's not like 2-day shipping or overnight shipping. It would take a minute to get to me. So that was another reason. And then the third being, I liked that Revel, you could order just the dip base eventually, but initially when I started ordering, you had to order the set. So it was dip base, activator, and then a gel top coat. And honestly, I don't really utilize their gel top coat. I have other favorites, and I just wasn't, I have it sitting on my desk and haven't really used it. So those were 3 reasons that I was like, Revel's dip base I really like and would continue to use, but those were 3 things I wouldn't mind changing. So the Azure dip liquids came out. I ordered, and I'll have to double check and see if the price is still the same, but I ordered when they first came out, and I ordered the sensitive dip base and top coat as a set. And I didn't intend to use the dip top coat as dip top coat, but I wanted to try it out using it as dip base to compare its functionality. And so I got the 2-pack for $9.99 on Amazon. It was overnight or 2-day shipping, whatever it was. And for the past while now, at least a month, maybe probably 2 months, I have been using the dip base and the dip top as a base coat interchangeably with no issues whatsoever. I use whatever activator I have on hand, which I think I'm still running through my stock of double dip activator, but that works totally fine with it. and I have had zero issues, zero contamination issues. I really like the bottles. They're like a nice glass bottle with like a pretty like pink ombre, like almost like a baby boomer look on the bottle. I'll put pictures in here so you can see what they look like. But I have been so happy with them and had no dip flu reaction, which I also wanted to be able to report to. So they are faster drying. So not like fast drying, like you have to move really quickly, but they're not slowing me down. Like I don't feel like I have to be as cautious going in to dust off my excess dip powder between dips. They're just like a little bit thinner than the Revel ones. They're just like my go-to from here on out until something magical happens or they discontinue them, because I just love them. So if you have dip flu and if you are looking for a good and readily available sensitive or low odor, whatever you want to call it, dip base, and then potentially if you're a gel top coat user and you want to be able to use the top coat as a base, like both of those bottles for $10 and you can use them both as your dip base, I think that's a pretty sweet deal. So I wanted to share that with you guys, share my feedback on using them so far, and drop a comment below and tell me if you've tried them, if you're going to try them, if you've been wanting to try a low odor one but haven't had any luck yet finding one that you like. Then maybe these are gonna be it for you, because I was pretty excited about them. I have tried several other ones. I have noticed other ones also to be slow drying, kind of similar to the Revel one, but maybe even more slow drying. I can't say for sure what happened, but I have been using the UNT peel base forever. And one of the sensitive liquids that I've tried in the past, I used just like I normally would over my peel base, and I could not get them popped off my nails. So I don't know whether there was some kind of chemical reaction with the UNT peel base and this particular low odor dip base, but I never gave it a second shot because I can't be having that. I mean, I had like tried to get that dip powder off, could not get it off, messed up my builder gel base trying to pry off the dip. It was a nightmare. It was like I hadn't even put my peel base down. So that was a no-go for me. But I have had no issues with the Azure Dip Beauty dip base and dip top having any reaction with the UNT other than normal. So also that to say, if you use peel base, if I put peel base on my natural nails and then dipped over them, I think that the dip powder would probably pop off within a day or two. I'm pretty hard on my hands. I do a lot of just activity around the house or our garage gym and things like that. I think it would be gone. Now, I, of late, with a builder gel base on my nails, using peel base, and then making sure to cap my free edge with my gel top coat when I'm done with my dip application, I can get like a week easily out of a dip mani if I leave it on that long. I tend to get bored and pop them off and want to change them out, but a week without a dip popping off is kind of amazing with peel base. Like, I think that would be the dream. So if you're somebody who's been trying to get longer wear out of a peel base dip application, maybe consider those things. Just making sure that you fully let your UNT dry before you apply, do your dip application, and then just make sure to really cap that free edge. It's also possible that this shape holds better for me because of the edge. Like, I would tend to get lifting on the corners of my nails when I had the square shape. So that's another thing to consider if you haven't tried it and you're a square girly. Maybe try a different shape, whether that's like a squoval or like a rounded corners if you don't want to go all the way like almond or a stiletto look. But it might be worth it if that's something that's of value to you. So while I'm yammering on, we're getting into the accent nails of this mani, which is just a tricolor ombre. So those little brushes that I have, and almost put my colors on in the wrong order, those are years and years old from Amazon. They're like Wet n Wild eyeshadow brushes, I believe, and they were probably like 99 cents a piece. I use them over and over again. I just clean them off on like a color switch in between, and I use them for solid colors or for glitters or whatever. Whenever I want to do an ombre, that's what I'm using. Now, I would say be careful doing what I just did, because I accidentally had loose powder from the other colors on my nail, and a little tiny bit of it got into my pink color. Now, that jar is pretty full. It was the teeny tiny amount. I just mix it in and call it good. But if you were doing like a white or something, I mean, even then a tiny little bit isn't going to make the biggest problem. But just be careful when you're doing colors close together like that, because it is easy to contaminate the colors. So you might want to just tap on those colors over your paper towel or whatever placemat you have down, instead of over the colors. So that's why I'm mixing that up, because I was like, oh, I got a little dab of, I think it was the purple in that pink, so I mixed it all in. But anyway, so that's how you go about your tricolor ombre. I'm going to do the second nail in the same way. So the like aqua color to the purple to the pink. And then when I do the second layer, what you're going to see is that I go in reverse order. I say this not remembering truly when I did this mani more than a month ago, I think. But so I'm going to laugh at myself if I don't actually do that. But that is what I would normally do. And the reason I would recommend doing that is you want to go in the reverse order, because it's going to help those colors just blend a little bit more at the transition lines if you do that. So same kind of thing. Oh, excuse me, that was almost a yawn coming out. Same kind of thing with any ombre is that if you were just doing two colors, I would recommend the first layer you do one color first, and then the second layer you would do the opposite color first. And it's just going to help a little bit more with that blend. In this case, because those colors are not like super close, I guess pink and purple kind of blend into each other nicely. But anyway, it helps even more with like a dramatic transition to blend those colors in. So that is my recommendation, and I think I follow it and set that example. But if not, then tisk at me for being not a practice what you preach girly. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys watch while I go ahead and do that second layer, and then I'm going to cap and clear, and then we're going to get into our little subtle mermaid stamping accent nails. All right, so we have filed and shaped and buffed and all that stuff off camera, and then I'm going to go in with my stamping. Now, I got this cute little trio from Maniology, and I went ahead and swatched the colors on the top, but look how pretty and pearlescent those are. I just love them. And so this is what they look like over white and over black on the top, and you can see that over white, over the light color, it's just this super subtle pearlescence. Over black, look how that pops. Oh my gosh. So I can just imagine like a kind of moody mermaid vibe with these, or I mean, you could use them for all kinds of different things. How fun would those be with like spider webs over a black nail for like Halloween, or I don't know, like all kinds of different things. I just love them. They're so pretty and pearlescent, almost like a chrome kind of vibe. So those are gorgeous. You should definitely consider them if you don't have them on hand. And I was really interested to see how they would stamp out, because I just hadn't worked with like a stamping polish that wasn't really like an opaque polish. So I was really curious to see how they'd go, and I just had no issues whatsoever. So you're going to see me go ahead and do that here. So I'm using this plate, which will be, I'll detail all of this below, the polish color and the plate number in case you're interested in some mermaidy nails for yourself. And then I just have another Maniology stamper that came from a set. Those things, I just love their stampers. All their supplies are really, really great. Look how pretty that is. I just can't get over it still. And then I just went ahead and pressed that right on the nail. No issue whatsoever. It transferred so nicely. And look how pretty. I stared at it for a minute and I was like, I hope this translates on camera, because it's really subtle. And I'm saying that with like these kind of brighter colors on my nails, but I was wanting like a subtle look. I'm not super bold very often, and so doing content for YouTube actually really stretches me outside of my comfort zone. The right hand nails that I'm wearing that are like I don't even know what color that is. It could be Emily. No. I think it's I'm not what you pink, or I'm not what you purple from Triple D. It's one of their white glow in the dark colors, and that would be like my all day, every day, every year nail probably for the rest of my life, if I didn't like stretch myself and get into creating content and learn to love like just the artistic outlet of doing my nails. So that being said, I'm really like a plain Jane boring girl except for my nails. So it's kind of fun because I wouldn't consider myself an artistic person. I don't really have an eye for like decor or like I can't draw anything. I wouldn't consider myself artistic. It's not how my brain works. But then I get to kind of tap into a little part of me that maybe is artistic when I do nail stuff with you guys. So I appreciate that. It's kind of made me find a different side of myself that I didn't know was there. So now we have stamped the mermaid nail. This is a cleanup brush from Maniology, and I just dabbed a little acetone on it, and I decided to not fuss around with it, but that is actually really a great brush for cleaning up any polish that's on your skin. I like went for it and then I was like, I'm not gonna get too detailed with this, because honestly after I do my gel top coat, I can take a quick swipe of acetone or nail polish remover and get that off of my skin without any issue. But if you don't have a good cleanup brush, that one is great, and I do love using it, especially when I've used like a dark polish color. I like to get really close around that cuticle to clean it up before I put my top coat on, because otherwise you can kind of be left with that around the cuticle if you seal it in with your top coat. You know what I mean? Hopefully you know what I mean. Anyway, so I'm going in with my gel base from West Coast Dips. I've talked about it before and I will say it till I'm blue in the face. I love the gels from West Coast Dips. They're a really thin gel. So if you're not into that, then maybe that's not for you, but I really like a thin gel. I don't want to add a bunch of bulk to my nail when I add my gel base and my gel top coat over a mani. I like a thinner application. So this is the gel base from West Coast Dips, and then I am going to use the glossy top coat on the solid nails, which I know I've told you guys, the Ultra Shine Quartz top coat, whatever it's called. It's magic. It's like, have you ever had Rain-X on the windshield of your car and then the rain just beads up and like flows off of the windshield? That's what I feel like this top coat is for your nails. I think I showed you guys in my last video when I put like my cuticle oil on that it just like beads up on the top of the nails. It's so shiny. I can't even tell you. Well, I just tried to tell you, but hopefully you trust me or have tried it for yourself. And then on the two mermaid nails, I am going to do a matte top coat, and I loved it matte, you guys. It was like, sometimes when you stamp, I feel like the matte top coat just allows you to just see the stamping much more clearly. Like a glossy top coat is gorgeous, but you get like your reflections off of it and things like that. When you do a matte top coat, it just lets, like, I don't know, it like enhances it in some ways. So some manis, stamping or not, just have to be glossy. They just are better that way, and the effect that you're going for, it just has to be glossy. But I really love a matte top coat over a stamp, and the one from West Coast Dips is fabulous. It's really matte, like very like velvety, I want to say, looking. I really like it. It holds up really well. I don't feel like it wears off and like gets kind of not glossy, but like more satin finished after a few days. I feel like it truly stays matte. So obviously I don't have like anything but good things to say about the gels from West Coast Dips. I believe she still has a HEMA-free line as well of those. So if you're somebody that has an allergy to HEMA or needs to avoid that, I believe she still has those on the website. So you can also check those out. I don't think that the main line gels, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, I don't believe that they're HEMA-free. I think she still has both options. So anyway, that's what I have to say about those gels. So I'm going to finish up putting that matte top coat on and then show you guys the finished look. All right, here we are. Oh my goodness. If my camera would focus, hopefully you can see and love it as much as I do. Oh, I just loved how this turned out. So I'm going to apply my cuticle oil here as well and moisturize. You can see like around the cuticles, you just kind of get dried out while you're doing all these things to your nails. Sometimes the filing and the buffing and the just chemicals and things like that. So I always finish up with a cuticle oil. The one I'm using is from Triple D. I love her cuticle oils. They're such a nice consistency. She has so many different scents, and I just have them everywhere in my house. Like, I'm recording sitting in my bed right now. I have one on my nightstand. I have a bottle at my nail desk. I have cuticle pens in every corner and crevice of my house and my purse and my car and all those things. So always hydrate those cuticles. Keep them healthy and happy and hydrated. I hope you guys can see the effect and love how these turned out, and I hope that maybe in the spring or summer when it's more mermaid season. Is there a mermaid season? I don't know. But also there's Endless Summer glowing in all of her glowing beauty. You guys know I love a glow. And that is what we have for you today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.